Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you're the kind of person who just loves pulling apart the layers of a story to see, how it actually ticks, you are absolutely in the right place today. We're putting a microscope to a really unique, award-winning one-minute short film by the channel Morphine. It's titled The Wait. Now, you might be wondering how much can actually happen in just 60 seconds. Well, prepare to be surprised. We're going to unpack this film's entire spoken script, which is literally a mere 25 words, and decode the completely chaotic narrative hidden inside. Okay, let's dive into this. What you're seeing is the complete, raw, unedited transcript of the film. Ready? Here we go. Yeah, bro, we got away to this append and make bullshit is over. Yeah, I'll see you later in like 2 months. Just let that raw confusion wash over you for a second. There's no punctuation, there's no breath. It's just a sudden, chaotic burst of fragmented communication. Honestly, it almost feels like a mistake, right? But beneath this seemingly random string of words, there is a surprisingly fascinating architecture at play. You've got to notice the stark conceptual contrast here. On one side, we have this prestigious metadata, award-winning one-minute short film. And that immediately brings an expectation of polished, deliberate cinematic crafting, right? But then, on the flip side, we have the gritty, unfiltered reality of its dialogue, just a raw 25-word run-on sentence. This conceptual friction is exactly what challenges our expectations of prestige media. It totally strips away that polished veneer for something delightfully raw and unhinged. So, the crucial point is we aren't just going to dismiss this as a jumble of nonsense. Oh no, we are going to use what I call the microscope approach. By slowing all the way down, we can basically treat this chaotic sentence like a piece of abstract digital poetry. When we really zoom in, we're not just looking at text anymore. We are looking at survival, at conflict, and resolution, all packed into a single frantic breath. To prove just how much storytelling is packed in here, we've got ahead and broken this exact transcript down into a traditional 3-act narrative. Believe it or not, it fits perfectly. We start with Act 1, the escape. Then we move into this bizarre middle section for Act 2, the cryptic conflict. And finally, we finish up with Act 3, the resolution. Suddenly, it's not just a run-on sentence anymore, is it? It's a complete, structured story arc. Let's break down each act. Act 1 is all about the escape. Those first 5 words, yeah bro, we got away, man, they do a tremendous amount of heavy lifting. It instantly drops us into a high-stakes, post-action scenario. Notice how we don't even need to see the chase? That breathless relief tells us absolutely everything we need to know. These characters just survived something intense, and they did it together. Let's really focus on one specific word in that opening, which is bro. In a script this impossibly short, every single word has to justify its existence. Here, it isn't just some throwaway filler slang. It establishes an immediate, unbreakable bond of shared survival. In just a fraction of a second, it communicates brotherhood and pulls us, the audience, right into their inner circle. It is their emotional anchor. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how, as we enter Act 2, the cryptic conflict, the narrative just suddenly fractures. We get, to this append and make bullshit is over. Now, this is a completely bizarre linguistic anomaly. It honestly reads less like dialogue and way more like a wildly inaccurate auto-captioning error that we're probably overanalyzing for fun. But hey, if we embrace the chaos, the confusion itself becomes the text. It's like the adrenaline has completely scrambled their ability to communicate perfectly. We can actually break this cryptic conflict down into 2 distinct objectives. First, escape to this append, whatever that is. And second, ensure the bullshit is over. It's just a fantastic juxtaposition. We have this abstract, utter nonsense phrase, this append, paired directly with a crystal clear, universally relatable desire for peace, just wanting the bullshit to be over. The literal language breaks down, but the human intent behind it remains totally obvious. And that brings us right to Act 3, the resolution. The transcript finishes with, yeah, I'll see you later in like 2 months. Notice that sharp, sudden shift in tone? We've gone from the shared adrenaline of we got away to a really sobering farewell. Yes, the escape was successful, but the immediate crushing consequence is separation. I really want you to focus on the number 2 here. Out of all the incredibly vague, chaotic language in this script, this is our one piece of hard, quantifiable data: 2 months. This isn't just a casual, hey, see you tomorrow. It represents the exact mandated period of exile these characters absolutely must wait out before they can safely reunite. And this brilliantly illustrates the hidden structure of the film. Point 1 is now, the chaotic escape, the definitive end of the conflict. Point 2 is 2 months from now, the promised reunion.
This one single run-on sentence dictates a super strict timeline that perfectly mirrors the title of the film itself. The empty space between those 2 points, that is the core subject of the story.
Which brings us to our formal definition. Based entirely on a Pharmovec analysis today, we can define the wait as a mandatory 2-month period of separation following a successful escape. It's the central thematic premise of the whole thing. The film isn't actually about the escape itself, right? It's about the anticipation, the exile, and the lingering, heavy promise of that eventual reunion. Let's move to and see how this builds our final understanding of microcinema. The whole principle of less is more absolutely vibrates through this work. Morphine took a chaotic 25-word auto-caption nightmare and basically used it to convey a visceral escape, post-action confusion, and the heavy emotional weight of forced separation. You really don't need a massive 50-page script when a single breathless sentence captures the experience so perfectly. So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a question. We've seen how deeply fragmented communication can hide real structure and how characters can be thrust into sudden exile. If you were in their shoes, having literally just survived total chaos, only to be told you have to disappear entirely, what would you do with your 2-month wait? Think about that isolation, think about that eventual reunion. Keep analyzing, keep looking closer, and I'll see you in the next explainer.